We are, and I'm at number 20. You're
Yep.
probably kind of similar. I'm going to stop the bleeding. I'm going to take Jaden Hardy from the G League Ignite.
He was number 2 left on my board at this point.
You should just do the one-man podcast. We're thinking the same way. He
Yeah.
has not been incredibly efficient. He hasn't. He came with a really big rep from high school. He's still going to get his buckets. He had sort of like this breakout, maybe turn the cornerish type game where he had 30 points the other night. You see the appeal in the way that he gets his own looks and has real distance and range on his jumper. He wants the ball. He wants to be the man when the clock is winding down, hit game winners. The handle is fairly loose and susceptible to reach-ins. Like when he goes, and if a guy helps, it's a bobble fairly often. But he's this power scoring, I think more of a combo guard. I think he has to be more of this Gilbert Arenas type guy than your table setter. And I think he's hurt himself a little bit casting that role, forcing himself to be something that he isn't. It's a small sample. It's 13 games or so, but we can't
Wait, time out there. Did you say that he's like a table setter? Like he's
no.
making
I said
passes?
he can't be your table setter. That's the problem. Like he needs to be more of the off the ball scoring combo too. And I said he's hurt himself by trying to be a table setter. He's not that. But at times,
I don't even think he's doing that.
Well, he has the ball. Like it's like sort of he's playing point guard ish. So I guess that's kind of what's assumed. They're not like rolling the ball out and hoping that he scores every single play. I think the vision is that he can be more of that. I'm not saying that's what he is by any means.
I don't think the coaching staff's doing that, but I think that his attitude is that.
Sure. So as a spin-off of that, it's hard to be that guy when you're shooting 36% from the field and 27% from three.
Yeah.
He does shoot close to 90% from the free throw line. There's some small footwork tweaks I think that would help. He has to use these screens better. And when he comes off, keep going. You're separating yourself, all the actions behind you, but he has a tendency of catching it and like taking a step backwards. The defense is there. You're making your shot that much tougher. Sometimes these former top 5 prospects, they need different locales than the ones they're in to figure it out. We saw it sort of with Brandon Boston, a little bit with Zaire Williams we talked about. It's possible. I haven't completely checked out on him, but I don't see the top 5 stuff that we had in the preseason either.
I don't see the lottery stuff even. Like I'm like completely.
Somebody could take him there though. Put it that way. Won't be us, but somebody could take him there.
I'd be surprised. That's where I'm at. Like I would be surprised because let's just like think about the profile here, right? Mm-hmm. How big do we think he really is?
6'4", maybe.
If you told me he's like 6'2.5", I wouldn't be blown away. He looks small out there. Like that's what I mean.
They start like 6'8" across the board, but yes.
But like even against other teams, like he looks small. I think at the end of the day, like he is not an enormous player, and to be let's say 6'2.5", and I mean he has long arms. Like he seems to have a ton of length.
Yep.
Yeah. Like I'm not saying he can't be that, but then you throw in that he's not like a crazy athlete. Like he's
not crazy. He's better than shown. He's I don't want to say above average, but he's average plus. He's not like an average athlete. He's better than that, but he's not above average either. I don't know if that makes any sense.
But to be the kind of shot creator that is his game,
mm-hmm.
you probably need to be like a well above average athlete.
Or a well-oiled machine on knowing how to use screens, because we've seen slower-footed shooters who are just very good with their footwork, very good on that first push, separation, then really coming off hard, and he hasn't really got there yet.
See, like even someone like Lou Williams, like I think that like that's kind of what the pathway is, right?
If he's Lou Will, I think that's a home run.
Yeah, no, but like that in terms of like player type and trajectory, right? Like that's what you're hoping for, right? Lou Williams, I think, was quicker. Like I think he was a little bit twitchier.
Yeah, for sure.
Than what Jaden Hardy is.
Yep.
So I see a guy here who I think is somewhere like I'm gonna say I legit think he's somewhere between 6'2" and 6'3". Like I would.
Yep.
I'm gonna be very interested to see what he comes in at in terms of measurements. Like let's even be generous and say 6'3". So a 6'3" 2 guard who isn't a crazy athlete, who is a bad decision maker. Mm-hmm. Like doesn't make high level passing reads.
Right.
Takes a ton of terrible shots, like a ton of hideous shots. And doesn't defend. Like he's a bad defender too.
Yeah.
What about that as a lottery up? Even like if you say you want to throw out this year, what about that profile is a lottery profile, I guess?
The scoring. If this 30-point game is
Yeah.
a true breakout to him being I think he's averaging like 17 or 18, so it's not like he's averaging single digits. But if he builds on this, gets a little bit more efficient, and that's why people really liked him out of high school, is his ability to score and shoot with range too and stretch the floor.
Yeah. Okay.
I took him
know.
20th. I'm not selling you on
No,
second,
I know.
It's a little bit lower.
I had him after this next guy. He was next for me. I'm just saying, like, in terms of the people who have him in the lottery.
Yeah.
I'm just like a bit unclear on, I guess. Like, I just don't know. Like, I don't know what the profile is that like really says that. Like, I look at him versus Dyson Daniels and I'm like, okay, Dyson Daniels, you can plug into a real role right now.
Yeah, plot him in anywhere.
It makes sense, right? The margin for error for someone like Jaden Hardy is like zero, right? It's like literally zero. So he needs to become an elite shooter. He needs to become elite in terms of footwork, in terms of handle. Like, he can't just be okay at one of those things. He needs to be like incredible at all three of those things. And that's hard, I think.
Yeah.
Not saying you can't do it. It's just the odds of hitting all three of those boxes, I think, are a little bit lower.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.